What are the top 5 or 10 things one could do for overall immunity, health, or longevity? Vitamins, minerals, plus doses.
The most powerful lowering agent for the immune system is glucose or sugars. So the first thing that I would do is absolutely stop sweeteners. By sweetener, I mean pop, all that crap. I mean, I'm not saying to completely stop it, but I will keep it to a limited time. Okay, that's number one thing I would do. Yes, there are things that affect your immune system. We know now that vitamin D is absolutely incredible. And I know what the doctor is going to tell you. Oh, you take too much vitamin D, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to show Danny a couple of levels here for you guys to see it. And it's LabCorp. I'm not making, so they're going to say, oh, Serrano, make the levels up, blah, 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 blah. And these are patients that I've been seeing for years. A couple of this had multiple sclerosis, right? Another one had psoriasis. The other one has, oh my God, what does he have? Some weird immune disease. I don't know, Danny, if you will be able to see this, but I want to put it on the camera. Let me see if you can see it. Let's see.
Fuck.
Let me hold on a second. Let me go. Let me do this. Let me put it this way.
You can even just say what the range is and where the levels sit.
But I want to show them the lab.
504.
Yeah, 504.
And the range is 30 to 100. So it's 5 times higher than the clinical range.
And that's vitamin D. You see vitamin D right there? Vitamin D.
Yeah. And this is on a daily dose of how much?
So that's, you guys are going, oh my God, Serrano is killing him, right? Well, that guy, if I don't have those levels, he has psoriasis. And by the way, I have an accent. Bleh, no shit, right? And I told this guy to take vitamin D until he felt better. But I said, don't go over, I said, don't go over 10,000 IUs, right? That was the first time. This is years ago. And the guy called me from Florida and told me, oh my God, I feel wonderful. I don't have a rash. I don't have a joint pain. My hair is growing back. And I say, oh, good. So you're in Florida, the vitamin D is going to go up because you're in Florida, right? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, no. I'm taking what you told me. It started before I moved from Ohio. No, Eric, I was taking what you told me. I said, how much are you taking? 80,000. I go, what?
80,000.
80,000. Yeah. I go, I didn't tell you to take 80,000. He goes, yes, you did. I say, no, you didn't. I heard you clearly. And of course, I couldn't argue with him. So I said, don't do that. Completely stop. I said, completely stop it and then go back to 10,000. Well, 3 days later, I get this phone call in my office in my message. And quote unquote, fuck you, Serrano. And I call and I say, are you mad at me? Yes, I am. Because I stopped the D. 2 days later, I started getting my joint pains. I couldn't move. My wife was, what was wrong? And I took 80,000 loading dose. The next day, I was back to normal. So you were right. I need 80,000 IUs. And that's what he has been taking for now is 18 years. So
this is daily?
Daily.
And you take 40,000 IU daily, if I remember right?
I take 20.
Now you drop down to 20? Okay.
But I take 20, like I take 20 in the capsule, but I take other vitamins, and I'm sure I'm taking maybe, if I look at the 25, maybe 30,000 a day. I bet that I take that much. But I live in Ohio, which I don't got shit here, and I'm brown skinned. Okay, so be aware of those things. Now, let me answer that question from that gentleman. Okay, so I will start with low. Make sure that your glucose is low. I absolutely would take vitamin D, and I do not know what your conditions are. What it's at least 10,000. I don't care what they tell you. 10,000. What I've seen that works. Now you're gonna ask me why 10,000, and why have I come up with that? Why do that? I had a marathon runner, or excuse me, a triathlete in my office, and this guy is awesome. He wrote a book, but I don't want to give names because he's my patient. And his levels were 12, right? Vitamin D. And he had a lot of immune issues and all kind of problems. But this guy doesn't want to take pills, doesn't like it. So I put on 10,000 IUs, and he said, I don't want to take that. He stopped it 2 days into it. And he said, how else can I raise my vitamin D? And I said, well, let's put you on the red light. And I'm not making this up, Danny. If vitamin D toxic is over 100, right? It's toxic. That's what they tell you. Yeah. Then if you put a person on a red light or in the sun, you should never go about 100, correct? You expect that, right? Remember that this guy was vitamin D was 12, right? So 3 weeks go by, 4 weeks go, 6 weeks go by, and I said, okay, you need to come 3 months to check your vitamin D. When I check his vitamin D, his levels were 129, right? And I'm thinking, oh wow, so he's taking. I assume he was taking vitamin D. Didn't say anything, you know. I called and said, "Are you taking vitamin D?" He said, "Hell no! I told you I wasn't going to take it." I said, "Wait a second, what are you doing?" I'm doing half an hour to an hour on my red light. So I'm thinking, wait a second, you naturally can make that much. I said, the name, you know, the guy's name, right? Said, can you spend an hour on that light every freaking single day for me? And I wanted to do it like, you know, because to get the vitamin D levels, you need to be 12 and 2. So I wanted to make it an hour, and I wanted to recheck your vitamin D levels. And I say, but people are going, oh, he was drinking milk, eating cheese. No, I completely eliminated every single source of vitamin D he could have on the diet because I wanted to see. It was 128. Okay. So this guy under the light has normal levels of 128. Now, of course, you're going to say that is not normal because he was under the light. Yes. But when I was back home in Puerto Rico, dude, I was outside all day long. So who knows what my vitamin D levels were then? Of course, you know, I started figuring out that vitamin D is a super high controller of your immune system. I would say the vitamin D is the general of the immune system, and the vitamin A is the captain of the immune system. I have a supplement. I'm not selling nothing. I have a supplement called ADEK, and it gives you high levels of all those. And the reason is because they all work together. And GOD says fat soluble vitamins should be taken together. Now, number 3. So vitamin sugar's low.
Okay, very, very quick, guys. I need to confirm that everything Eric is saying about vitamin D, the benefits, is completely true. And you want to know how I can prove that? Because the government of Canada has banned vitamin D in capsules, anything exceeding 1,000 IU, because they're deemed as being toxic.
No.
So, yeah. You can't
funny
buy
that you
vitamin
said
D.
that. Wait a second. I had a physician that sent me a patient for vitamin D toxicity. I was so excited because I was like, man, I got a patient with vitamin D toxicity. You know, Daniel was, wow, you know, the first time ever. And I get his levels. I get there and I start asking him questions. How do you feel? I feel wonderful. So, man, you feel wonderful. Oh my God, I feel great. I was depressed and I went to see my physician. You know, he was going to give me drugs, but I started taking vitamin D. And I said, wait a second. I saw he sent you here because you are vitamin D toxic, right? He goes, what? He goes, well, he said I was toxic, but, you know, I don't have any symptoms. I go, wait a second. Why did he say you were toxic? He said, because my levels were 102. So I asked this guy, do you have diarrhea? Do you have cuts? Do you have
No.
nothing? He was feeling wonderful. So I said, let me check your levels. So they were 108. And the only thing I do pay attention to vitamin D is that make sure that you're taking vitamin K. So I do check your vitamin K levels, right? And I also check your calcium levels. Well, his calcium was 9.1 and he has 0. I checked the urine. I checked, you know, he was sent to me to check this. So I'm doing, you know, urine, calcium, and doing all this shit because I need to send a letter to the physician. And I sent a letter and said, listen, he doesn't have vitamin D toxicity. He has normal levels of vitamin D and he feels great. I wouldn't do anything to this patient, of course. Now this guy is my patient. He never went back. But
I mean, have a laugh. I don't know if can you see this?
Yeah. Okay. So they
okay.
said that
I gotta, Eric, no bullshit. I have to smuggle this in.
What?
Okay. If I order this online, it gets stopped at the border. So I have to smuggle vitamin D. To get vitamin D, my friends have to package it and send it to me by mail so that I can get vitamin D. Because in the US, for Canada, this is like cocaine. They stop it at the border.
Are you being serious? Well,
I can't buy that. I can't buy DHEA. This, forget it. Bad. Yes, this is harmful. This is gonna kill you. Can't do that shit.
The government always protects you, remember?
The government can shove it up there.
Well, anyways, let me continue with the answer. Vitamin C used to be created from glucose, right? And that's why glucose is so important. Now we don't do that. There's a compound from olive oil called hydrotrosol, okay, that allows you to make your own vitamin C again which is pretty cool, right? Now, vitamin C for me is a must for everybody, and the minimum is 2,000 milligrams, right? Now, another thing that I use for people immune system is absolutely always I add mushrooms.
When you say 2,000 milligrams, you mean a bare minimum 2 grams of vitamin C per
minimum,
day, correct?
That's minimum. You can
split up. Okay.
No, I do it at once. Now it depends
Always
how
good.
stressed. It depends how stressed the patient is. The patient is very, very stressed. I go 2,000 2 or 3 times a day. It's because the highest content of vitamin C in your body is in your adrenal glands, and the reason is the production for the cortisol and all that stuff. So I have to do that. Now I use mushrooms also, especially Reiki mushrooms, cordyceps. All those will improve immune system, and I use those. Depends on the company. I don't want to give, but just look it up on the internet, I guess. Another thing that I use a lot of enzymes. Okay. And I use a lot of something called lactoferrin. I'm sure you guys are aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a product called Humanafort, Humanofort, and I don't make any money. I'm just telling you, it works incredible. Okay. There's something called Epicor, Epicor, okay, which is a form of a yeast that have shown to increase the immune system clinically and in research. Okay. So I'm not giving you can look it up. You can look all these things. Epicor is a type of cell wall, the yeast that allows your immune system to work better. Okay. Also, I use a lot of enzymes because enzymes are actually built in your body and help break down tissue, bad tissue and good tissue sometimes, but I do a lot of enzymes. I also use glutathione because I want to increase the immune system, and detoxification is very, very important.
Injectable specifically, I imagine?
Yes. And also
oral formulations are useless, right?
You know what, Danny? I got it. Now that you show me all these things, I don't even know what to tell you because I can bring some bottles and I'll show you what I use. For example, I use a raw liver for almost every patient that have issue with toxins. By the way, my fault, David, I didn't tell you this. In patients that have toxicity, I'll put them on dehydrated liver. Everybody. I use
like
dehydrated
desiccated liver?
Yes, desiccated liver. I use all the time. It works amazing. Another thing that I will use is colostrum. And another thing that I will use is called immunolin. IMMUNOLIN. Immunolin is the most amazing supplement used for preventing leaky gut syndrome or any type of issue in your stomach. It comes from the blood of the cow, so I'm sure it's illegal in Canada. Okay. And it is amazing. A company named Muscle Feast is doing research with it right now. And I'm coming out with a supplement that will have immunolin, Humanofort, and something else, right? And another thing that works amazing is something called Thrive 5. And hold on a second. Let me show it to you guys.
Mizumi is the #1 product for acne problems on TRT. Check out the products using the link in the description under this video.
I use this a lot. Okay. You guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's has superoxide dismutase, which is actually, I would say that's the marines of the immune system. And finally, free-form amino acids. I have my own brand. It's called Muscle Synthesis. I use large amount of muscle synthesis during the day, empty stomach. And at the end, I will use colostrum. If you're not allergic to milk, I will also use colostrum. All those stimulate your immune system tremendously. And it has been shown by research. Vitamin A is amazing. Now, I always make sure that you get either selenium, right? You need to have that. You need to have zinc for your white blood cells to work normal. But a good multivitamin also will do it. I have my own vitamins, but I'm just telling you, just check it out.